This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good afternoon, Tuscaloosa, Internet World, West Alabama. How we doing today on this Friday, January 17th? Welcome into the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. You're checking us out here on the Bama Central YouTube channel. Appreciate everybody doing it right there, or on my own social media machines at Joe Gaither 6. You can find us right there on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube as well. Or you can be my favorite listener, subscribing to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon. The Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. We're live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios, just off of McFarland Boulevard, right here in Northport. On the left, past the Tiger Rock on the left, right up here past on Highway 69. You can call Derek and his team at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Call Derek, Red Reese, and Victoria for any questions you might have. They're upstairs right now waiting on you. 205-758-3391. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. We're here with Mason Woods. Follow Mason Woods at MA_Woods_. Mason pulled his traditional Thursday night all-nighter writing recruiting rundowns for BamaCentral.com, Missouri on SI, Boston College on SI, and Miami on SI. Mm-hmm. Mason, how's the coffee flowing? The Mountain Dew, flowing. You up and at them? How are we doing today, sir?
Yeah, doing good. I've just kind of found that that's the best way to do this, because with recruiting, as you know, it's just like there's constantly just kind of things popping up here and there. Oh, so-and-so received an offer. Oh, so-and-so is taking a visit. Oh, whatever. So it's kind of just best to give it as long as I can throughout the week to just compile as much information, because even this morning, after I posted it, there's already more things happening. So,
well, let's what are we going to do today? I want to talk about Alabama and Kentucky. I want to talk about your junior day article, Just a Hair. I want to talk about the national championship game just a little bit. Did you have something? I thought you threw a couple things at me. Well, we're saving some things for the All Things Bama podcast, because we want you to subscribe to Mason's show, All Things Bama podcast, and we will do an episode of that today. So let's go right to Junior Day real quick. Just give me a rundown overview. Anybody standing out? These are class of 2027s. Is Barack Willis, even though he decommitted, is he going to be participating in Junior Day? What's the who's the one or two or maybe three names that you're like, okay, this kid is somebody I'd like to see Kalen DeBoer go ahead and snag?
The one right now that is the most intriguing to me is 5-star wide receiver Tristan Keys. He's 6'2", 175. He's the number one wideout in the country for the class of 2027. I think he is. He's really, really electric. Obviously, you can't find game tape. You only get to watch their highlights. So you go to the huddle page and you watch, whatever game one highlights, game two, and it's just this kid like mossing people, streaking down the field for touchdowns. Let's see. I know I had his stats in here. At least I thought I did. I think he had like 40 catches for like over, I think like right at 1,000 yards.
So as a sophomore.
Yeah. Sorry. Did I say 20?
As a then sophomore.
Yes.
Now he's going to be a rising junior.
Yes. So he was a very, very exciting player. He's getting recruited. He's from Mississippi, so he's getting some love from Ole Miss. Obviously, you're going to have to recruit against Ole Miss in the lane train there, but he's also getting a little bit of love from Tennessee, I saw. So, a lot of the top tier teams in the SEC are calling for Tristan Keys, but we'll be in Tuscaloosa on February 1st for Alabama's Junior Day alongside just a couple other good players here. Let's see. We've got two edge rushers, 4-star Dre Quinn and 4-star Kamari Brooks, both of which also will be taking visits to Clemson and Georgia coming up soon. So, got to fight with some other top-tier programs there. But I think Bama's looking pretty good for the Class 26.
Okay, well, 25 class worked out pretty well, even though they got in pretty late. We got to get in on the 26th and obviously 27th. It never stops. All right, Mason, what you want to get into for real? We want to talk about basketball, tomorrow's game with Kentucky.
I'm still so mad at them for that Ole Miss performance.
Yes. Because
I was sitting there trying to look at Kentucky, and
I'm so irritated.
And I just couldn't stop myself from going back and looking at Ole Miss and just like vomiting at the stat broadcast sheet.
Because here we go. All right, Mason, just tally this in your head: wins and losses. At Kentucky, at Mississippi State, at Arkansas. You playing with me? What are we? 2-1, 1-2. Keep it in your head.
Mm-hmm.
At Texas, at Missouri, at Tennessee, and at Auburn. What's your best case scenario in those? That's how many games? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more road games. 4-3, 5-2, 6-1's not happening.
No, I think 4-3 is where is like is the lowest, or probably the worst you can be and still feel pretty good about it. 5-2, I think you're feeling fantastic. Worse than 4-3 is where you start to maybe have a little concern about the ability of this team to get out of the SEC.
As I see at Mississippi State 1, at Missouri 2, at Texas, and at Arkansas as my 4. And then you got at Tennessee, Auburn, and Kentucky as your 3.
I don't think that's all that unreasonable. I think for this Bama team, though,
can we get to 5-2? Steal one tomorrow.
I think that's what you really want. That's what you need to see from this team, especially after a performance like they put up at home against Ole Miss, where, for lack of a better term, they basically got embarrassed at Coleman Coliseum.
You were.
Yeah, you turned the ball over a season high amount of times, 21. It was just an all-around atrocious performance. So I think getting this win would not only, help the team mentally kind of get back into the flow of things, get back onto the right track, but it shows the rest of the SEC and the rest of the country that, this Alabama team had a little bit of a fluke there, but this is still one of the country's best teams.
That's the issue. That's my biggest issue with Tuesday's performance is we just looked at this road schedule, and obviously you did get your win at South Carolina, at Texas A&M. So boom, you're 2-0 on the road already. Mm-hmm. Not bad. And you went to Purdue and took your lump. So you've been experiencing some of these, better road environments, but you're also going to be playing some damn teams in Tennessee, Auburn, and Kentucky in their house. So the road's going to be absolutely brutal. It's going to be brutal all year long. And that's what is so irritating about Tuesday is because, all right, hold that 4-3 in your brain there, Mason. I have ADD, whatever it is. I can't hold more than 1 or 2 thoughts in my brain. You hold 4-3, and I'll go through these home games here because here we go. Vanderbilt, LSU, that's 2. Come on, babies. Georgia, probably 3. Versus Auburn, maybe 4. Okay, likely for then State 5, and then Florida 6. That's 6 more home. 6-0 if you run that run. Now 6-0 means that you beat Florida and Auburn at home. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be.
It's tough sailing.
Those are two challenging. Those are 2 challenging things to put as as guaranteed deposits. You can't guarantee those deposits. So you're at what 4-2 probably at the baseline. Probably 5-1, maybe 6-0. So you're 6-0 with your 4-3 leaves you at 10-3. You've already lost 1, so 10-4. You're up. You've won 3, so 13-4, right? Is that? 13-4. Yeah, 17 games. Yeah, I think that's right. And buddy, if you want to win the league, you can't do any worse than that.
You got to be you got to be perfect from here on out. You can't
That's
really slip up anymore.
That's so offensive. Now, about Tuesday.
I understand you don't have to go undefeated, but this is accounting for. This team is going to play top 10, top 5 teams in the country. So, those are kind of the toss-up games where you will give them a bit of leeway and allowing them to maybe get a loss in those games. But the other ones, like Ole Miss was this week, like Vanderbilt, like Mississippi State, games of that nature, those are the ones that you absolutely have to win. You cannot afford to drop any of those ones. And Alabama, unfortunately, did drop one pretty early in the SEC schedule now, dropping one to Ole Miss. So, yeah, you kind of have to be perfect from here on out.
That's what's so infuriating about Tuesday. So, what are we looking at tomorrow, 11 a.m., with your backs a little bit against the wall? But I guess, if we just play the math, 4-3 on the road from here on out, can get you an SEC title. Oh, what are we thinking about tomorrow? Because maybe it's my bias, maybe it's my disgust in my brain still, but I'm feeling like Alabama's defense is about to lay an absolute egg, and it's about to be 110-95.
Yeah, I think it could certainly get that way. I think when you look at the way Kentucky is kind of built, they've got that big 7-footer in the middle. Blanking on his name now. I know I had it written down. Amari Williams. Big 7-footer in the middle, averaging right at 10 points a game, 9 rebounds a game. I think he's probably going to cause Alabama a lot of issues down there in the paint. I think, while I like what they have been or what they've gotten from Cliff Omori at times this year, I think he's been a bit inconsistent down there. Still is struggling with his footwork. Still struggling with with letting guys get past him in the paint and then having to recover and then fouling people. So it's kind of just an ongoing issue with him. So I imagine someone down there who is just bigger and stronger than him, which is something that's hard to do, but this guy is. It's probably going to be a little bit of an issue for Alabama. And then on top of that, they got good guard play, 5 players that average over 10 points a game. So
do you see the nightmare name on their roster? The Alabama basketball nightmare name that's on their roster. Because let me look up this game. San Diego State versus Alabama, Sweet 16. Because how much did you have Lamont Butler? What did you do in this game? Let's see. Lamont Butler in the Sweet 16 game ended up only 4 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block. No turnovers for San Diego State as they defeated the Alabama Crimson Tide in the Sweet 16. What was that? 2023? Lamont Butler has now transferred to Kentucky and is averaging 13.4, 3 rebounds a game, almost 5 assists, 2 steals, playing pretty well as one of their lead guards. Obviously, Lamont Butler did not do much in that Sweet 16 game from a scoring standpoint, but did fairly well in other ways. The issue here is the issue tomorrow, I think, will be transition defense and will be the way that Kentucky swings the basketball in a very similar fashion that Alabama does, which how will that complicate the defensive switching? They're going to shoot a lot of threes. Yeah. They're going to shoot a lot. I mean, you might get 75 3-point shots between the two teams, 80 3-point shots.
Yeah, you might.
I mean, I'm comfortable saying you will at least get 50 between the two. And I think you'll probably get closer to 70 between the two. And so you want to make that percent. Like, you mentioned the offensive rebound. You got to get it all the glass. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no, I just I'm thinking of the ways this game could go, and you talk about like the transition points that could be, or transition defense could be an issue for Alabama, and it's like it kind of goes back to the issue with Cliff Omori down there. Like you've got them if Kentucky is out and able to run this well and get the ball down inside, and Cliff can't play fast that well, so then it's like, okay, we'll throw Grant out there, but then Grant is smaller, even smaller than Amari Williams, so like it's just the issues kind of compound on themselves. Yeah, this I don't think this is a very good matchup for Alabama here.
Is this a Mo Diabate? You got to be a man game?
I think you might have to ask Mo to do a lot tonight or tomorrow.
Well, there's no line out yet, but I would suspect Kentucky has a 4.5, 6.5. If you look at ESPN analytics, they have Kentucky as a 52.3% chance to win the game. So still, basically 50-50. I just have such a sour taste from Tuesday. If you you don't give yourself a chance to win a game only shooting 47 shots. Period. Period. Oh. And if you are limiting your shots because you're turning the basketball over, or if you're limiting your shots because you're not getting any offensive rebounds, either way, whatever it is, both. And the offensive rebounds really have not been an issue all year long. That was kind of a one-off. The turnovers have been like a roller coaster. You have had games where up. Oh, and then we correct it, and they go down.
Yeah.
And then they go up. And so it's time to, hey, we need to get a little consistency in this department. Oh, yeah. I'll ask you this, Mason. I had a friend ask me about the Tuesday performance. It's asking if it was just hangover and carryover from the almost 3-hour game against Texas A&M on Saturday. Because Texas A&M's a tough team too. They're going to beat you up too. You shot a lot of free throws.
I mean, maybe. I don't think that's enough to justify 21 turnovers. I think if they come out of that game still with a win that looked a little bit sloppy, maybe you can throw it up to that. But they got beat so bad in this game on both ends of the floor, offensively, defensively. I don't. They just didn't come to play in that game. I don't think I can make excuses for them off of that. Although they were tired, everybody's tired.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I don't think that played. That was not the reason for that large of a discrepancy between the two teams on Tuesday night.
In effort.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm still sitting here feeling like tomorrow's going to be an L.
Yeah.
Are you going to take the other side for the sake of hope and prosperity?
Yeah. Well, I don't feel great, but we'll roll with it. I think they can make. I mean, the shooting has been somewhat okay. Yeah, maybe they can catch a hot streak. Another game like they had the other night.
Can we get an Aiden Holloway 6
for.
of 10?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe Aiden Holloway 6 of 10. Chris Youngblood 5 for 11, somewhere around there. I'll take them in a close one. It'll probably be a shootout running up and down the court the whole game, like a 88-85.
What's old Kenny Pomeroy said? We looked at it the other day, but what old Kenny Pomeroy has the Kentucky Wildcats. 16th. You're right. You beat me to it. 16th with the second best offensive rating in the country. Behind who? Number 1, Auburn. And they have the 76th best defensive rating in the country. All right, Alabama, you got better defense than Kentucky. 33rd. Come on now. Kentucky's given up 100.8 points per 100 possessions. Bad. Alabama at 97, which is meh. Okay.
I think it's going to be a lot of Alabama getting out and running, getting to the basket, and then being forced to kick it out. And we're going to have to see whether or not the shots are falling.
Can we get some free throws?
Free throws would be cool.
Can we end up with a
78%
free throw percentage? Something
that would
78
awesome.
Or higher?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. The team I saw was it still 69% when I looked it up the other day? I'm pretty sure it was. Terrible. Just awful as a collective.
Mm-hmm.
Like, guys.
For a team where your identity is, based on getting to the free throw line, that's inexcusable.
Yes. Because the first shot is always the free throw. It's the dunk and free throw. Layup, dunk, free throw. People talk about live and die from the three. Coach Oates would rather you just have all 100 possessions end in a dunk.
Yeah. Yeah, if you could have every possession end with a shot right inside the paint, that's exactly what this offense wants to do. It's just, if that can't be done, you kick it out to the more efficient shot, which is a 3 rather than a mid-range.
All right, I'm taking Kentucky. I'm going to look at this a little bit closer here. Kentucky, what are they averaging here? Kentucky's averaging 88 points a game. Alabama, 89 points a game. I'm going to take Kentucky 96. Yep, 96. I'm taking Kentucky 96. Alabama, 89.
I'll stick with 88-85, Bama.
Okay, roll Tide. We'll see what happens. Our first little taste of Mark Pope in the SEC.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about that guy so far? Like what you've seen?
He's done a good job. I mean, I'm impressed with what he's done.
Obviously, Kentucky alum. He's been in the SEC, but as head coach is what I mean.
I mean, I think a lot of people kind of ragged him for how corny everything was in the offseason with the whole, bringing the bus in and everything. But, I think he's good for Kentucky. You get somebody who knows that program through and through, who knows Lexington like the back of their hand probably. And he's done a good job this year. I mean, they've beat up some really good teams.
Corny or authentic?
I think authentic.
Yeah, I agree. I like him, especially like last week or whatever. You got this Kentucky fan who can't get down to the court. He's in a wheelchair. He goes up to the terrace and hangs out with him, and he just seems like a real down to earth guy. You beat Duke and Cooper Flag. You lost to Clemson. You beat Gonzaga. You beat Louisville. You beat Florida. You went on the road and lost to Georgia, so not good. But you went on the road and beat State, and you beat Texas A&M. So you're riding a 2-game win streak, Kentucky. You got a home game this Saturday at 11 a.m. Maybe, perhaps, they're not as crazy at 11 a.m. But Kentucky fans are going to be crazy no matter what.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough environment for Alabama.
Absolutely.
Do they wear the red throwbacks?
Yeah, no, I think that's the. I think that's the standard road jersey this year, basically.
I'm cool with it.
I'm not feeling good about it. I want to sleep in, sleep in till 2, and not watch us lose.
Just wake up and check that phone. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh no, darn.
We'll be reading the box score.
Oh, that's not what I'll do. I'll be up and at 'em. We'll be ready to write for Bama Central. We fired up.
Be locked in for it, win or loss. I will be there to watch the whole thing.
All right, so we're hanging out inside the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios, right here off McFarland Boulevard, right past the Tiger Rock on the left, right in Northport. Call Derek and his team at 205-758-3391. They'll be happy to get you a fast auto insurance quote, homeowners insurance quote, renters insurance, boaters insurance, really whatever you need in the insurance realm. Derek Daniel and his team can take care of you. Look, emergencies are always around the corner. You want to make sure that you have the right people on your team. Derek Daniel is the right people. Call him at 205-758-3391. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. All right, Mason, what else you want to get into today? What else you want to get into? I want to talk. You'd be thinking if you got other topics for sure that you don't want to talk about on All Things Bama Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the All Things Bama Podcast. If you don't have anything, it's A-okay. And if you have anything that's not related to sports, that's even better. But I want to talk about the national championship game, not in a breakdown the game sense, who's going to win in sense, who you pulling for sense.
But in a dunk on Brian Kelly sense.
Oh, okay. No? Yes, go ahead.
I don't like Brian Kelly.
Hey!
I just love that he went out of his way to say he couldn't win a title at Notre Dame, and then Marcus Freeman took him there.
Yeah, we're in the title game before you, buddy. Well, let's talk about these resources. Looks like I got more out of these players than you did, and I didn't kill anybody doing it.
Woo!
No,
people forget.
I want to talk about the calendar.
Oh, yeah.
And how we're still playing football, but like literally my emotions, your emotions, everyone's emotions have fully moved on. Like, of course, if you're an Ohio State fan, if you're a Notre Dame fan, you're still locked in. You're still ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
But
the rest of the country is
we're in 2025. It's the off season. We're ready for we're ready to get this spring practice going, and we're ready to get into how many days till Alabama plays Florida State. That's the kind of the kickoff. Like, that's where we're at. It's weird. Like, I have enjoyed the 12-team playoff as a construct, but the timing in the calendar has been unusual in my opinion. Now, the other aspect of it that I want to bring into it is this weekend we'll have NFL playoffs on Saturday, right? Let me double check myself. That's going to be NFL schedule. Yeah. Saturday at 3:30 and at 7 o'clock. We got to get the NFL to play one of their games, right? Play this Houston-Kansas City game. Perfect. No problem. And then you play Washington-Detroit the next day on Sunday. Give us a 3-game slate on Sunday.
Sure.
Right?
Cool with that. And
bleep this national championship game on a Monday BS. Get that out of here with it's been my entire life. So it's not like it's brand new, but every year, I think about what are we doing with our lives? National title game on a Monday.
It makes no sense.
If I were a Notre Dame fan or an Ohio State fan, I would have already put in my request off for Tuesday morning because I'm celebrating that night. I'm self-medicating that night. Like, that is going to be I am eating all the chicken wings in the world. I'm eating 2 pepperoni pizzas. I'm having as many Miller Lights as my stomach can hold. And I'm saying, rah, 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 go team, go for my team. Like, that's, and look, I'm not going to be doing that for the national championship because I don't like. They're not. These aren't my teams. But if it were Saturday, you get your chance to rah grill out. I know some Notre Dame fans. Maybe they'd throw a party, and maybe I'd be invited, and I'd say, "Yo, go Irish" with them, and just to be in spirit, because that's usually what I do. Try to pull for my friends' teams. I hate the calendar, and it's always been this way. National, even think back to Alabama, Ohio State, 2020, Alabama, Georgia, or in 21. Like, it's hooey.
I hated throughout my childhood having to beg my mom to, can I please stay up so I can watch the championship game? It's ridiculous. Put the game on a weekend. You're losing viewers. You're actively losing people here who have to go to work early on Tuesday and cannot stay up to watch a football game on a Monday night. If I had to get up and go to work on at 5 a.m. on Tuesday morning, I'd be pissed. I mean, look, I will stay up and still watch that football game, but I would bet
I'm just thinking about the common man.
Yeah, a large portion of people will not do that. They will just say, forget it. I'll check out the highlights in the morning. But you're already, from a viewership standpoint or from a rating standpoint, you're already kind of shooting yourself in the foot by putting it on a weeknight. Just throw it on a weekend.
And I know college football, they're like, we want to avoid the NFL schedule. And I know that the NFL and college football aren't working together on this. But come on, this should be like a betterment of the country.
Just for society.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, you'll still get your ratings, NFL. Play that early game at noon on Saturday and let everybody wake up and do college game day style. But instead, it's an NFL game. Sure. Let's flip the roles a little bit. I think that'd be so fun. And then it's okay, you played your NFL playoff game, high stakes there. One team moves on, and we see another team is sad. We take a little break, and then boom, it's coverage to the national title game. And it's, we're kicking off at 8 o'clock Eastern, at 7:30 Eastern, 7:30 Eastern, just so everybody can, it's Saturday. The West Coast ain't working, so they're ready to go as well at 5:30, 4:30, they're ready to go. It just makes too much. And I've always felt this way about the Super Bowl as well. Super Bowl Sunday, you've had 2 weeks off. I understand you want to give the championship teams that little break to gear up and get healthy and be 100 as close to 100% as you can be. Play it on Saturday.
Sure, yeah.
Play it on that Saturday night.
Or let's just make that Monday a holiday, a national holiday, Super Bowl Monday.
Isn't President's Day usually around that February?
I think it is right.
Let's see. President's Day is February 17th. I think Super Bowl is going to be on the 2nd or the 9th. It's usually the second Sunday, right?
That sounds right.
So that would be the 9th.
Yeah,
so just bump everything back one more week, or move President's Day up a week. Give the people Monday off. Obviously, not everybody's going to have President's Day off, depending on the job. But the calendar, and of course, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel in topics right here. But the calendar, as a fan,
it kind of sucks.
It's irritating to me.
Yeah,
because
we're too far from the regular season now at this point.
Yes,
we've gotten too far from everything to where. We're a month and a half removed now, almost the regular season into the first week of December, right? And then we have Army, Navy, a lot of which that's a whole other topic.
Alabama's last game was on the 30th of November.
Yeah,
and then you had the bowl game,
and then So we're sitting a month and a half here, pretty much since the last week.
Saturday will be 7 weeks since Alabama's regular since the finale. Excuse me.
And that's too far. It's just you're asking people to keep up with it for too long. We started all the way back in August, and we're gonna basically go through to almost February. It's too long to lock in. I love football, but we're not doing football now. We're just kind of waiting around. I get that everybody wants to have their time to get ready for the games and everything, but it's just getting a little ridiculous here. Tighten it up a bit.
Yeah, so Notre Dame, they didn't get a first-round bye, right? Mm-hmm. So they played, let's see, okay. So the 7th was Heisman Trophy weekend. The 14th was Army-Navy, right? All right, so they played on the 20th or the 21st. I can't remember. I think they played on the Friday night. So they played on the 20th, and then they didn't play again for 7, 8, 9. They played on New Year's night, right? New Year's Day and New Year's night. So that was a 9-day break. And then they played again last Friday, right? Last Thursday, Friday. Last Thursday, Friday. So that was another 7, 8, 9, 10-day break, which is cool. And let's
like a
just
week
cut them by
is enough.
7.
Yeah.
Let's just cut them. Yeah, let's cut each day, each round by 2 or 3 days.
7 days is enough to prepare,
especially
for a non-championship round. That's plenty of time.
Especially after you've had your last game on the 30th, you get these 2 full weeks off. The Heisman Trophy weekend, the 7th, and Army Navy weekend, the 14th. Go ahead and pop us a game right there on that Monday, the 16th. Be like, hey,
yeah, that'd be cool.
We on, baby. Like you've gotten your 7. Basically, that's still 14 days off. God, you got nearly 3 weeks off between the end of the regular season and the start of the playoffs.
That's too much. That's too much. It needs to be 2 max. And honestly, I think even 2 is pushing it. I think 2 should be reserved for maybe right before the championship game. You can get 2 weeks if you want. I don't like. This is a bad schedule. I think a week is enough time to. It's what you do during the regular season. I know the playoffs are different, but a week is enough time. I think that should give you ample time to prepare for these games. If you want to, hey, throw in an extra bye week during the season to give guys some time to rest and things.
You got 2 bye weeks this year for the first year ever, right?
I forget. Yeah, we did have 2 bye weeks this year.
And I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
I loved it. Those 2 weekends were heavenly from a work perspective compared.
There's some adjustments that need to be made. I mean, to not only the actual schedule of the games, but the transfer portal, the signing period, all kinds of stuff needs to be done.
All right. Well, that's
still
my
don't
little.
Understand week 0. I still think week 0 is dumb.
There you go. Exactly.
Why do we
just call it week 1?
Just call it week 1.
You're already playing.
This is the first week of college football games, is it not?
Exactly. So wild. There's a lot of things that need to be tweaked, and roll my eyes if you're not watching me on YouTube, but just more reasons why you got to get yourself a commissioner of college football. You got the president of the NCAA, but they're overseeing all kinds of things.
Please save us, Nick Saban.
Yes, Nick.
I know ESPN. I know you're having a good time up there with your buddies. Feeling like a police. I know you're sitting up there on the panel with having a good time with your buddies. Cutting up.
Don't you
there.
think you could still do that and just take some meetings Monday and Tuesday? Hey,
I don't know if he would do that though.
I'm the college football commissioner. These are the days I work. I work on Monday and I work on Tuesday. Put your complaints on the games in on Sunday so I can read them on my Monday emails. I'll read them through Monday, then I'll have my lunch and I'll make rulings all through Monday night and Tuesday day.
They'll just turn game day into like a weekly State of the Union, and he just addresses the nation.
Perfect.
Here's what's going on in the college football world. He's going to point out every team that tampered this week. You're all banned next season. Postseason ban for you. That'd be good.
That would be excellent because the tampering is disgusting.
Yeah.
The tampering's so annoying to me. I love the players making money, and I love the free market system, but the tampering makes it really, really, really annoying and really dirty to me because makes it really hard to stay locked into your team. And it makes it really hard to, I think, keep asking your fans for bleeping money as the roster's turning over every year. I fell in love with Johnny Smith. He's my favorite player. Of course I'm going to donate to NIL. I want Johnny Smith to make money. I love buying Johnny Smith's jersey. 4 months later, Johnny Smith goes to the portal. And it's just you feel like that sense of betrayal. It's not a lover breaking
personal.
up with you. And it's not like it's anything like that. But if you're a fan who's my $19.99 or my whatever the subscription price is going in, and I love Johnny Smith, Billy Brown, whoever, doesn't matter. That's my favorite player. I like when Billy Brown's on my TikTok and doing all kinds of stuff in Alabama gear. I know TikTok's about to get banned. Sorry guys, but you follow my point. As soon as Billy Brown goes on the transfer portal, you feel like that 1999 that you were given all year long, it was like, why the heck was I even given that? Because I wanted Billy Brown to stay at my school. I was donating it so that Billy Brown would stay at my school. And then he goes in the portal and goes somewhere else because he's been tampered with. It's messed up. And it really erodes the sport of football, but really college athletics as a whole. Because I don't have any issue with them making money. And I always used to think that people would say, well, they're playing for the love of the game. They're playing it's not for money. I don't like the NFL because they're playing for money. And I used to think that's the silliest thing in the world. But like in college, it's worse now than the NFL. Because the year to year. Like, you better be grateful that Ryan Williams loves Alabama. And you better be grateful that whatever the financial commitment from each side was made seems to be holding firm. And you better be grateful that Ryan Williams seems to be a solid dude that's like, yeah, we agreed to this deal and I love it and everything's rocking and rolling.
The biggest thing, because there's no telling how many coaches, how many GAs and things were in his DMs this offseason, trying to contact family members, trying to contact agents, trying to contact whoever they could do just to get in touch with him to throw some money his way to offer him and the ability to come play.
And think about little kid, Johnny 9-year-old from wherever, Alabama, who, man, Ryan Williams, that's my guy. I loved him. Yeah, he's into football. And like, that's where you create fans. That's where you create lifelong memories. Seriously. I mean, I knows I grew up in a Georgia household. I can still remember many Georgia plays with my dad. This player and that player. And this, that's where you create the memories. But then Billy Brown, who created the memory for Johnny 9-year-old, goes in the portal and Johnny 9-year-old goes, Dad, where's Billy Brown? I bought his jersey. And he says, oh, Billy Brown's playing for Auburn now.
How many kids do you think bought an Isaiah Bond jersey? Or begged for one for Christmas that year, probably?
It's infuriating because if I'm a father, which I'm not, but if I'm a father and my Johnny 9-year-old says, where'd Billy Brown go? Oh, well, Billy Brown plays for Tennessee now. They offered him more money. Just be like, granted, it's been a long time since I was 9 years old, but I would think that I would say, well, why the heck am I watching this sport anymore? Why the heck am I still invested in this? Because my favorite player just went to another team. That or creates fans that say, well, now I'm a Tennessee fan because I'm cheering for Billy Brown. Yeah. It's maddening. And I don't know how we got on this, where we started. Oh, man. But it's maddening. The calendar and everything that's messed up in college football and how everything feels disconnected. That's how we got on this. Because everything does feel disconnected in the postseason at this point. I mean, if you're an Ohio State and Notre Dame fan, maybe you would disagree. And maybe it feels disconnected for me because I'm following Alabama, covering Alabama, and we're already into 2025. But it just feels like as a whole, college football is way too early. Top 25 rankings, and
we should be in that territory right now, and not like who's going to win the national championship.
Right.
We should be on to most interesting position battles to watch for the spring. It's a weird year. Like we said, I've loved the 12-team playoff. It's given us some great games, and I think it has given us a good championship matchup. Two teams.
Yes,
two teams I agree. That deserve to be there. I think.
Agree.
But this schedule, it's just got to be adjusted a little bit. Bump it, tighten up this season a bit.
Tighten up.
I saw people. I hate them.
Tighten up, baby. Two-tone blue.
Man. They make me so upset.
Let's finish with this. We don't do much predicting, and we don't do much NFL, but since it is kind of starting to be in the offseason, we do have a 4-game slate this weekend. It is playoffs. I don't need much analysis because my NFL watching is basically like what's on Red Zone. But what do we think? Houston at Kansas City, Washington, Detroit, Rams at Eagles, Ravens at Bills. So we'll just take one at a time. Do we like the Texans to have a chance?
No, we do not.
Yeah, zero shot.
0%. I mean, they're feisty. It was a great game last week. I didn't think they could win last week. They beat the Chargers.
Come on, D'Amico.
But no, they no.
D'Amico's not going to overcome the machine that is the NFL officiating.
No. No, he will not.
That's the issue. That you go into Arrowhead Stadium, you're fighting the Taylor Swift NFL officiating machine.
I think it's also going to be cold as I would imagine, very, very cold in Arrowhead Stadium.
Gross. That's going to be 3:30 on Saturday. Chiefs are an 8-point favorite. Moving on. Commanders are at the Lions. 7 o'clock. Lions 9.5-point favorite.
That's disrespectful to the commies. I don't know. I mean, obviously the Lions should win this game. The Lions have been the best team in the NFL this year by pretty much every metric.
No.
But man, I don't know. The Commanders, something about them. You know, they got a little team of destiny vibe to them. Seems like ever since that like Hail Mary against your Bears, just about everything that could have gone their way has gone their way. It's like they keep getting just the right bounces in games and things, the right little small things that change the outcome of games go their way. So I don't think they're going to win this game. I'm still going to take the Lions, but I would not be shocked if this winds up being a nail biter right at the end of the fourth quarter, and we're looking at Jaden Daniels maybe with a chance to win the game at the end.
Well, Saturday night I will be hate watching, pulling for Jaden Daniels, and I'll just take the Commanders just for the sake of taking them because Dan Campbell, I am ready for you to go for it on fourth down in your own territory and get a turnover. Then Jaden Daniels scores on the next play. It turns into a huge swing. I'm just ready for Dan Campbell to try to go for 2 and have it blow up and go back the other way. 2 points for the Commanders. Just some sort of silly. I love an aggressive coach. I do. But I think you can take it too far.
He's taking it a bit
my
far.
aggression. He's always on 10. It's like, what's the level 10 play here of like aggression.
It's work, you know, hey.
And I think it's great to instill that in your team. And obviously it's permeated through the franchise and they are on the rise. But I'm hoping that it just, it's 4th and 4. It's 4th and 4 at the 45 with 2.5 minutes left, and they're up by 4. And they're trying to ice it. They don't get it, and Jaden Daniels marches down and scores a touchdown. Like, yes, give me that. Sunday, the Rams are at the Eagles, 2 o'clock on NBC. Eagles 6.5-point favorite. Jalen Hurts out of concussion protocol.
This is another one where I'm a little. I feel like the Rams could maybe do something in this game. I think the Rams, they've played really, really good football the last basically last half of the season. Matthew Stafford has looked really good. He looked really good last week. I'm still going to take the Eagles, I think, but this is another one where I think it's similar to the last game. It could be a nail biter right at the end, and we could be looking at Matt Stafford with a chance to win it.
I'm definitely with you on the game flow that you just described. But I will take the Eagles as well. 6.5 points, I think, might be 1 or 2 points too many. I think the Eagles win by 3 or 4 right there in the link. Oh, can we use this to pivot real quick to the internet controversy between the Eagles and Packers fans in the stands this past week? Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
The Eagles fans yelling just the most disgusting profanity at a woman that you could ever imagine. And I'm not even going to parrot it here because it was just that disgusting. And like, I find myself conflicted because obviously it's Packers fans getting yelled at. And I'm reading online that this Packers fan was maybe instigating for a viral moment.
Yeah, I saw something about that. I didn't really.
But come on, no matter if you're instigating for a viral moment or not, the language was.
You don't talk to people like that in public.
The language makes my blood makes my ears curl. Just think it just.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not opposed.
And people are like mad about the guy getting repercussions for doing that. And it's like, hey, maybe don't scream those things in a public setting where you know people can film you. Then you wouldn't lose your job. I don't feel that bad for him.
And I'm not really against cursing either, like ever.
No,
in my life, we don't curse much on this show, but like sometimes we'll let it fly in our personal lives. But his language was like not cursing. It was like, hey.
I mean, yeah. If you haven't seen the video, we can't really do it justice, and I'm not going to say go watch the video because I don't think anybody should watch it. It was really, really bad,
inappropriate. So, all right, well, maybe the Eagles will get justice for that, and the Rams will upset them. But I will take the Eagles by 3. Yeah. Last game, hey man, team of destiny, Ravens are at the Bills. The Baltimore Ravens are a 1-point road favorite. 5:30 on it's CBS. There ain't no
Mm.
way I'm betting against Lamar and Derrick Henry and Todd Monken in that running game.
No, I don't think I can go against them. It hurts me so much to see the Ravens be as good as they are because I hate the Ravens so much. I love Lamar Jackson. I love Derrick Henry, but man, I hate the Ravens. And I'm just in this weird conflicted stage where I like to see Lamar do well. Very, very happy to see Derrick Henry do well, but I really hate to see the Ravens do well. That being said, I think I will also ride with Lamar and Derrick Henry and Todd Monken. Like you said, that Ravens running offense. Lamar has been so impressive this season. He is the MVP. For anyone who wants to doubt that, go look at the numbers, go watch the games. Lamar has been a better quarterback than Josh Allen this season. He's played harder teams. He's beat better teams. Lamar is your MVP. I have a bad feeling that Josh Allen's going to get his Joel Embiid MVP this season, but we will see. I'm going to take the Ravens in this game.
Would have been a lot of fun. NFL playoffs all over your TV screen. Bama players everywhere on all the teams. So we're excited about that. We get out of here for the day. We've been hanging out in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. We appreciate Derek Daniel for sponsoring the program. We appreciate you for listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon, or watching us on the Bama Central YouTube channel. We're going to hear from head coach Nate Oates, who will be on the Bama Central YouTube channel here in just a little bit on this Friday. And then we will be covering Alabama and Kentucky tomorrow all over Bama Central, Alabama on SI, right there in your browser. So it's been a lot of fun. Subscribe to the show. Follow us on social media at MAWoods_ and at Joe Gaither6. We'll be out of here for the week. We'll talk to you on Monday about Alabama and Kentucky. Maybe make some national championship game predictions and follow the news wherever it leads right here on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.